What's going on, guys? RGT85 here, and emulation is a bit of a slippery slope, especially in the retro community. Lots of debate about it. Really, to me, what it boils down to is if you have an emulator, that's fine. If you use a commercial ROM, as long as you own the game, that's fine. If you don't own the game, you might could get in trouble. Now, most of us probably have not gotten in trouble. I'm sure most of us have used an emulator and a ROM before, and who knows? Sometimes when I use them, I use it to actually see if I want to buy the game, and then I end up buying the game. But usually, emulators and ROMs were done in a certain way. A website would host the emulator and host the ROM, and then you yourself would download them, putting the responsibility on you and not the website. But there's a new breed of emulation websites where you don't need to download anything. You literally just click a button and boom, you're playing the game all within the website. One of those websites is called Viz.com, which is one of the bigger ones. And recently, within the past day or two, they were hit with a note from Nintendo of America, an email from their law department saying that they had to remove over 2,200 games or further legal issues would be brought upon them. 2,200 games, we're talking NES, Game Boy, Virtual Boy, N64, all of these games had to be removed or else they were gonna get in some deep shit. So now the question remains, is Nintendo going overboard with this? And I say it kind of depends on how you look at it. If you look at it one way, Nintendo is completely within their right to do it. Whether they should do it or not is a completely different debate. But let's take a game like Super Mario Bros. 3. That game is still selling on the Wii U Virtual Console, it's selling on the 3DS Virtual Console. It's still making money, it's still Nintendo's intellectual property, and they're still selling well. If you look at eShop charts, those, Super Mario Bros. 3, Zelda, Metroid, those games are constantly at the top of the charts. So yes, Nintendo is within their legal right to do this. And you also have to remember one important thing. While they're not making money off the actual emulation, they are making money from ad revenue by people coming to the website. So Viz is probably making a lot of money from people coming to their website to play a game like Super Mario Bros. 3. So they're making money off of Nintendo's property when they probably shouldn't have been. And yes, that is a bit of a gray area, but let's call a spade a spade. Now, the real question remains, though, is that where do hacks fit into all of this? Because a lot of these games that were told to be removed from the website were actually hacks. Which is interesting, because at what point does a hack leave Nintendo's property and become the hacker's property? Because you gotta remember, hacks nowadays aren't just a simple sprite change. There's a lot of work that goes into this. New areas, new sprites, new everything. So at what point does Nintendo's source code become the hacker's source code? Because you could change the source code to make it a completely new and different game, all because Nintendo has laid down the groundwork for that source code 30 years ago. If I tinker with it enough, doesn't it become my source code? Isn't that like music? Where you could, let's look at the whole Vanilla Ice and Queen situation. Ding, 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 shh. Ding, 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 ding. See? It's kind of like that if you really look at it. And this is an interesting legal precedent because I don't think hacks have ever really been involved, so streamlined with an emulation case. And this is the first time it's really happening. So I wonder, I have friends that do hacks. John Riggs, he makes awesome hacks of games that, completely change the game. Is he going to be in trouble for making these hacks? And, if he decides to sell a copy or two of it? It's really setting an interesting legal precedent, and I feel bad for Viz because, it's gotta suck to wake up to that email, although I do understand why Nintendo is doing this because a lot of these games they're still making money on. But the hacks, they should not have been included. I do not understand that because it never was Nintendo's game in the first place, all because it's your source code, but if it's tinkered with enough, it doesn't become your source code anymore. So I don't know, it's a very interesting situation and I would love to hear what you guys think of it because this is probably going to be some sort of legal precedent from here on out. A lot of these websites are going to be in deep shit if they don't listen to Nintendo. Is Nintendo going too overboard? Is Viz in the right here? What do you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments section below, and as always, I'll keep you up to date with all the retro gaming news that there is. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.